Hey guys, welcome back to another recipe video. I'm gonna make a bit less sound today because it's quite early in the morning. I haven't made a YouTube video in quite a while. Last time I made one was at the end of March, so it's been a couple months. I've been quite busy, but it's summer holidays now, and I'm hoping to get recipes out to you much more often. So we're gonna go through the ingredients first. Today we're making the original lemon drizzle loaf cake. This is my all-time favorite dessert. It is my signature. And so yeah, all the ingredients will be down in the description box below as always, and I will post them a few days early on Instagram. So you can go back to that post, check out the ingredients, and then come back here and just get them ready. So we're gonna start off. We have 225 grams of soft unsalted butter, which if you buy your butter in Tesco or Lidl, it's 227 grams, 2 grams, it's fine. I use the whole packet because I live in Ireland, and I just chop it up into pieces so it's easier to break up. We have the same amount of sugar, so 225 grams of caster sugar. We have 4 large free-range eggs over here. We have some flour. This is 225 grams of self-raising flour. And we have 2 lemons, and then we just have to prepare our tin. We're gonna do that while we're gonna create some air with the butter and sugar. So I'm gonna place my soft sugar, which I've diced up, into my freestanding mixer. You can use a hand mixer, or if you're feeling very courageous, maybe a wooden spoon, potentially. So I'm gonna pop the sugar in, and I'm gonna move the camera so you can see the mixer. And now, to create some air, it's basically a bit similar to making buttercream, but here we have caster sugar. So I'm going to put this on a speed of 4 or 6 for 5 minutes, and in that time we're going to prepare our tin. So my butter and sugar are still going. In the meantime, I've done the tin, and I'm going to explain you how I did this. So I took a piece of butter, the same butter that I'm using for the lemon drizzle cake. I took a piece of butter, and I smudged it all over the tin on all the sides, and then I took some parchment paper and I put it along the bottom and up the longer sides. These sides can stay open, they already are greased with butter, and then I've basically left some overhang. If you've watched my banana bread recipe, that was my most recent YouTube video for loaf. And I used this loaf tin, and I'm leaving the overhang because when we're taking the lemon drizzle out, when it's ready, it's easier to take it out and transfer it to somewhere else, rather than having to flip the tin over, flipping it over again, and placing it there. That's a mouthful. Sorry. So yeah, the tin is ready. I'm gonna give this a couple more seconds. Okay, so our next ingredient is our 2 lemons. So we're gonna use the zest of these lemons. As you know, I'm a big lemon fan. I make a lot of lemon bakes. And I'm actually hoping to get a lemon drizzle Madeleine recipe out to you guys at one point, because, you know, lemon drizzle, you know what I mean. So, I'd give these lemons a pretty good wash before using them, especially if they're waxed lemons, you know, those type of lemons that, you know, you don't want that waxy stuff. So I'm gonna zest these 2 lemons, and when you're done zesting them, do not throw them away, because we're gonna use them for the drizzle later on. If you throw them away, I'll be severely angry at you. So we're gonna zest those 2 lemons. Try not get much of that white bit there. Just go until it gets to about here, and then just do all the sides. Make sure you get every last piece of that lemon zest into the bowl. So I'm done with the lemon zest, and I have my 2 beautiful lemons here, and we're gonna use those later, as I already mentioned. This time I would usually preheat my oven, so I've preheated to 170 degrees Celsius fan assisted. And now we're gonna move on to the eggs. So we have 4 large free-range eggs. I'm gonna crack those in one at a time. So I have my 1 egg here. I've cracked it into a separate bowl, and I have my rest of the eggs here, because I don't want any shell getting into here, and I always recommend placing it in a separate bowl first. And I'm gonna give this about 30 seconds to maybe potentially 1 minute in between each egg. So you have a few options for this. I've done my 3 eggs, and I've gotten my spatula out, and I've given it a bit of a scrape. And so now we can add our lemon drizzle before our last egg. So moving that over here. I like to add my lemon drizzle before the flour. Sometimes people like to add it with the flour, but I recommend to add it before the last egg so it gets incorporated well. And make sure to get every last bit of that lemon. And give that about 30 seconds to mix in. Okay, so that's our last egg. 30 more seconds and then it's finished. I've taken my bowl off the stand mixer, and if it starts to curdle while you're mixing your mixture, it kind of looks like scrambled eggs at some point. It's completely fine. It's natural. Do not worry. It will come together eventually. So now we're on to our last ingredient, which is the flour. I've got my sift here, and I'm going to sift it through just because it makes for a fluffier sponge. And then I'm not going to put it back on the mixer because I want to very carefully fold the flour in because we don't want to knock all the air out that we've just made with the butter, sugar, and the eggs. So I've sifted my flour through all of it, and now we're going to combine this. So basically how I'm going to do this, I'm going to cut through the middle and I'm going to fold it into itself. Cut through the middle, fold into itself. Okay, so our mixture seems to be combined. I've scraped to the very edges of the bowl, so everything gets incorporated because there might be bits of egg left that you just need to mix in with the spatula. And so now we're going to move on to our tin, which hopefully you have prepped by now. And basically we're just going to place this mixture in. It's nice to have a friend again. I think I said that in the banana bread recipe because it is, but we don't right now. So I'm going to try and place this myself. Okay guys, so I'm using my smaller spatula to even this out along the tin because I don't want to have all of the mixture here and then very little here. But it's going to do a lot of the work inside of the oven too. So now we're going to bake this for a total of 55 minutes, which is quite long, but it's worth it in the end. I'm going to take a look into the oven at 45 minutes and then open the door and check how it is at 50, and then poke a skewer at 55 minutes, and then we're going to take it out. I've just put it in the oven. Now I'm going to have a total clear down here, and we're going to prepare our lemon drizzle. It's ready. Almost. Okay, so the lemon drizzle is out of the oven, and the next step is to take something like this, and we're going to poke some holes in it for the lemon drizzle to soak in, because we don't just want it on top, we want it to soak into the middle and all around the sides, and then when you cut it in, it's going to be the tiniest bit like wet almost, but it's not soggy, and you have this really tangy, sweet, lemony, sugary flavor. So I've poked some holes in it already. And so next, you will need those 2 lemons. I've cut both of them in half. You'll need a lemon squeezer, a whisk. I'm using this whisk because it's giving. We have a bowl and some sugar. Now for this, there's no specific measurements. You kind of go along with it, how much lemon you need. If you think it's too sugary, you need more lemon, you can add some water. So you can try that out. So I have this lemon zester, which is really handy, and I really recommend to find it. I do not remember where I got it, but I'm pretty sure maybe Dunn stores will have it or something like that. So hopefully you saved your lemons. We're just going to squeeze those lemons, and the good thing about this, it saves all the seeds inside. So I'm going to do all 4 halves for now because the loaf cake is pretty big. All of the lemon juice is in here, and our next step is castor sugar. So I'm going to talk a bit about that. Castor sugar is added to the lemon juice to make a very loose drizzle that will soak into here. But I know that you might have noticed people drizzle this. It's a thicker drizzle, and it's made with the same lemons and icing sugar. And I am going to make that to go on top, but I do want the one inside. So now sugar, there's no measurements, as I already said. You go along with it. You add, I'm estimating that's about 2 teaspoons. So I'm going to give that a quick whisk. And you can try this as you go. And I'm gonna add a bit more. And I think that should be enough. That's about usually how much I add. But you can, of course, use a teaspoon to measure this out. I'm just a professional, so don't question it. So just so you know, I did end up adding another teaspoon of this. And before pouring this onto your loaf, you're going to want to give it a quite good whisk, because all the sugar, you know, it tends to sink to the bottom. So just before you place it on, you're going to want to give it a good whisk. And so this is still the tiniest bit warm. And now we're ready to pour the drizzle all over, the most important part of a lemon drizzle cake. And there you have it. There's a bit of sugar clumps there because, you know, it will tend to look a bit wet, but that's fine because it's still soaking in. And if you see here, I have some liquid that's not going in, which is why I'm going to poke some holes in these areas for it to completely soak in. There. It's called magic. Okay, so I'm making the next drizzle using more lemon juice. I squeezed a whole lemon in here. And then now I'm just gradually adding this icing sugar. We're looking for a quite thick consistency, sort of like the consistency I used in my hot cross buns recipe for making the cross, although that wasn't really sweet. It wasn't an icing. So it was just a cross mixture. It's supposed to be about that thickness, so we're going to have a lot more icing sugar than lemon juice. Once you're happy with the consistency, and I am happy, you're going to take back your lemon drizzle. Hopefully by now your first drizzle has soaked in. And now you can use a piping bag for this. I will not, because I am confident, and I think you should be confident in yourself too. So we're just, you know, you want to do a design for this because you don't want to soak it in this. And I bet we're not going to use all of this. So I'm just going to go along these sides. And yeah, it's a bit messy, but do not worry. It's always messy, and it's beautiful. Look at this. You know, when you walk into a cafe, sometimes you might see these kind of lemon drizzles where the icing is dried up. That's what I'm aiming for here. We're going to let this set, and then we're going to do a taste test. Okay, guys, so my lemon drizzle is completely set. The icing is there. And now to finish this off, if you're taking some nice pictures, you could zest some lemon on top. I will not do that because I am impatient and I really want to try this. So, I have myself a plate, and I'm cut it down, straight down the middle. And here we go. I'm cutting myself a slice. This has set for a couple of hours. So there you have it, guys. The classical ultimate lemon drizzle loaf cake. A delicious sponge with a inside lemon drizzle and one to decorate. And I'm gonna give this a taste now. No spoon for it. This is one of my favorite parts of all videos. You get to taste it. Delicious, amazing, fabulous. So many words to describe this. Tangy and sweet and a bit of savory. This is truly amazing, and I really hope that you try this. If you like this video and you would like to see more lemony things, which I do a lot on this channel, please make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. And I will see you all in the next video. I'll be doing a vote on which the next video will be on my Instagram, so make sure you go over there and check that out. It's going to be at This Is Baked, same as my YouTube channel name. And I'm going to add a couple of options, and we're going to do a vote, and which bake gets more is the next video that's going to be out after this lemon drizzle. I will see you all later. Thank you for watching. Bye.